22 finals, 92 years, one trophy that's been lifted, dropped, stolen, threatened, and cried over more than anything else in sport.
Some of these games made legends. Some created moments that turned players into immortals and changed football history forever. Others ended dreams. Some finals created heartbreaks so powerful that fans still argue about them decades later. From Berlin to Budapest and beyond. This is every World Cup final. Who won it, who lost it, and who never got over it. Before the next champion is crowned, let's remember how football reached this moment. Before television, before penalty shootouts, before most of the world had ever kicked a size 5 ball, there were 3 finals, and they created the foundation for everything that followed. 1930, Uruguay versus Argentina, the first World Cup final. Argentina led at halftime, but Uruguay scored 3 unanswered goals in front of their home crowd and became the first champions of the world. 1934, Italy defeated Czechoslovakia after extra time in a tournament surrounded by political influence and controversy. 4 years later, Italy beat Hungary 4-2 and became the first nation to defend the World Cup. Italy stood on top of the football world. But after 1938, the World Cup disappeared for 12 years. The reason was bigger than football. World War II changed everything. 2 finals, 2 of the greatest upsets in football history. One shattered a nation's dreams. The other defeated a team many still consider the greatest never to win the World Cup. 1950. Brazil needed only a draw against Uruguay in front of nearly 200,000 fans inside the brand new Maracana. Brazil took the lead, but Uruguay scored twice in the second half. The stadium fell silent. Football history remembers it simply as the Maracanazo. 4 years later came another shock. Hungary arrived unbeaten in 32 matches and had already defeated West Germany 8-3 earlier in the tournament. They led 2-0 in the final, but West Germany came back to win 3-2. History remembers it as the Miracle of Bern. For West Germany, the Miracle of Bern became a symbol of hope and national renewal. For Hungary, it became football's greatest what-if. The finest team many have ever seen, yet one that never lifted the World Cup. 1958. Brazil finally became world champions. A 17-year-old Pelé scored twice in the final, announcing the arrival of football's greatest icon. 4 years later, even after Pelé was injured, Brazil defended their title as Garrincha inspired another World Cup triumph. 1966. Wembley Stadium, England versus West Germany. Jeff Hurst scored the only hat trick in a World Cup final. But one goal would divide football forever. Did the ball cross the line? Without goal line technology, the debate has never truly ended. 1970. Brazil faced Italy with a team many still call the greatest ever assembled. Pelé, Jairzinho, Tostão, Carlos Alberto. Their 4th goal became the definition of beautiful football, a flowing move still studied by coaches around the world. Brazil's 3rd World Cup title meant they kept the Jules Rimet trophy forever. But in 1983, it was stolen from the Brazilian Federation headquarters, and it has never been recovered. Most believe it was melted down, ending one of football's greatest treasures. If one nation defines World Cup final heartbreak, it's the Netherlands. They changed football forever, but never lifted its greatest trophy. 1974. The Netherlands scored before West Germany even touched the ball. It looked like the beginning of football's greatest coronation. Instead, West Germany fought back, and Gerd Müller scored the winner. The world's most influential team left without the trophy. 1978. The Dutch returned to another World Cup final, this time without Johan Cruyff. But once again, victory slipped away. Argentina won 3-1 after extra time, and the Netherlands suffered a second straight final defeat. The Netherlands became the first nation to lose back-to-back World Cup finals. Their football inspired generations of coaches and players, but the World Cup remains the one prize that has always escaped them. 1982. Italy defeated West Germany 3-1. At the heart of the victory was Paolo Rossi, who had returned from a 2-year suspension and finished the tournament as the top scorer, leading Italy to their third World Cup title. 1986. This World Cup belonged to Diego Maradona. After the hand of God and the goal of the century, Argentina reached the final, where West Germany nearly erased a 2-goal deficit before Argentina found one last winning goal. 1990. 4 years later, the same two nations met again. This time, it was West Germany's turn. In a tense and physical final, a controversial late penalty decided the match, and Germany claimed their third World Cup. The 1990 victory became West Germany's final World Cup as a divided nation. Later that year, reunification changed the country forever, and future titles would be won simply as Germany. 1994. Brazil and Italy played the only scoreless World Cup final in history. The first final ever decided by penalties ended with one unforgettable image: Roberto Baggio sending Italy's final kick over the crossbar as Brazil claimed their fourth World Cup. 1998. France won their first World Cup on home soil, with Zinedine Zidane scoring twice against a stunned Brazil. 4 years later, Brazil answered back. Ronaldo scored twice against Germany, completing one of football's greatest redemption stories and delivering Brazil a record 5th title. 2006. Zinedine Zidane's final professional match became unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. In extra time, he headbutted Marco Materazzi and was sent off, leaving France to finish the World Cup final with 10 men. The final went to penalties. Italy held their nerve, winning 5-3 to secure a 4th World Cup title. It was a night remembered for triumph, controversy, and the unforgettable ending of one of football's greatest careers. 2010. Spain finally became world champions. Their tiki-taka golden generation completed one of football's greatest eras, defeating the Netherlands after extra time. For the Dutch, it was a third heartbreaking defeat in a World Cup final. 2014. Germany faced Argentina in another unforgettable final. 7 minutes from the end of extra time, Mario Götze scored the winning goal, delivering Germany their 4th World Cup title. 2018. France claimed their 2nd World Cup title. A teenage Kylian Mbappe announced himself on football's biggest stage, while Croatia completed one of the greatest underdog journeys ever by reaching their first World Cup final. From Spain's golden generation to Germany's precision to France's rising stars, football entered a new era with fresh champions, unforgettable moments, and the next generation ready to shape history. 2022. Argentina versus France, a World Cup final many believe is the greatest ever played. After years of heartbreak and near misses, Lionel Messi stood one match away from completing football's greatest story. Argentina looked destined for glory, but Kylian Mbappe produced one of football's greatest individual performances, scoring a stunning hat trick and rescuing France with 2 goals in barely 2 minutes. Argentina struck again in extra time. Mbappe answered once more from the penalty spot. After 120 unforgettable minutes, the World Cup would be decided by penalties for only the 3rd time in final history. Argentina held their nerve. Lionel Messi finally lifted the World Cup, completing football's greatest unfinished story. For many fans, this wasn't just another final. It became the greatest World Cup final ever played. 22 World Cup finals, 8 different champions, nations that conquered the world only once, dynasties that ruled for generations, and heartbreak that some countries, especially the Netherlands, still carry today. In just over a week,
2 more nations will walk onto the pitch at MetLife Stadium with one dream: to add their names to football's greatest story, a story that began in Uruguay in 1930 and has never stopped growing. Which World Cup final do you think was the greatest, and which one broke your heart the most? Every fan has a different answer, and that's what makes this tournament unforgettable. If you want to explore the incredible journey from the very first World Cup final in Montevideo to today's tournament, you're in the right place. Subscribe, and I'll see you for the semifinals.